misty morning. A young girl pedals slowly along a country road. Her clothes are simple. Her bag is torn. Her shoes are taped at the sole. And yet, her eyes? They carry the depth of a storm. They laughed at her bicycle. They laughed at her clothes. Every morning, before the sun had properly kissed the sleepy town of Roseberry, the air would be sliced by a soft whirring sound. Ella's bicycle. It wasn't shiny. It wasn't fast. But it was loyal. A little blue frame with one bent handle, a squeaky chain, and stickers from a decade ago peeling away like faded memories. Ella, barely 16, pedaled through the mist like a silent warrior. Her shoes, patched 3 times over, clicked softly against the pedals. She never asked for a ride. She didn't want one. As the town stirred and the air filled with horns and engines from limousines and Teslas, Ella arrived at Silvercrest Academy, the richest private school in the state. While others came in sleek black cars and chauffeur greetings, Ella chained her bicycle by the fence and walked in alone. Silvercrest wasn't just a school, it was a kingdom. A place where wealth spoke louder than character and designer labels determined worth. Ella sat at the back of every classroom. Her uniform, always clean, was worn thin. She never complained when she got second-hand textbooks. Never raised her voice when her lab partner ignored her. Never reacted when whispers circled her like gnats. Who even lets someone like her in here? She probably lives in a barn. I bet she steals Wi-Fi from cafes to do her homework. Ella just smiled. At lunch she sat alone. Sometimes reading. Sometimes sketching. Sometimes simply watching clouds through the dusty window. On the school's social app, memes about Petal Princess trended almost weekly. Cartoons of a girl with 2 wheels and tattered clothes were shared like wildfire. The richest boy in school, Brandon Locke, son of a media mogul, once joked during a school assembly, "Let's all take a moment to honor our classmate Ella for proving bicycles still exist in the modern world." The crowd erupted. Even some teachers chuckled. Ella blinked and smiled. A soft, wounded kind. Home wasn't a mansion. It was a 1-bedroom flat above an old hardware store. Her father, Mr. Richard "Rick" Hale, worked long hours as a technician. No brand watches. No hired maids. Just warm tea, books, and laughter. But here's what no one knew. Richard Hale used to be the CEO of Hale Tech, a tech conglomerate worth $46 billion. But he vanished 10 years ago, declared dead in a hostile corporate takeover by his own board. In truth, Richard had discovered a betrayal so deep it forced him to walk away from it all, choosing to raise his daughter away from the poisonous kiss of power. "Let them think we're poor, Ella," he'd whisper. "Riches don't define a person. Heart does." One cold November morning, Silvercrest hosted its annual talent speech day. Ella, after 3 years of silence, signed up. She practiced every night. She stayed up editing, rewriting, crying, rehearsing. Her topic? The value of small things. When her name was called, she stepped onto the stage, heart pounding, palms sweaty. She looked at the crowd and froze. Laughter. Someone from the front row whispered loudly, "Maybe she'll teach us how to ride a bike." Brandon threw his head back, howling. Her vision blurred. Her throat closed. Ella stepped back and ran. She didn't speak the whole ride home. Richard opened the door. One look and he knew. She sobbed into his shirt like a little girl again. That night, Richard opened an old wooden chest. Inside was a silver keycard, an envelope, and a letter of resignation, and signed. He made one call, to the only friend who never betrayed him. "Activate Protocol Phoenix," he said. The next morning, Hale Tech's media outlets exploded. Richard Hale returns, billionaire founder, was alive all along. And in a press release, Richard added one line. "I will be visiting my daughter's school tomorrow. Prepare accordingly." Silvercrest buzzed with whispers. News vans. Drones. Cameras. Confusion. At exactly 8 a.m., a black Rolls-Royce Phantom rolled into the school gates. Out stepped Richard Hale, clad in a charcoal suit, hair silver, eyes like fire. Behind him, Ella, still wearing her same uniform, still holding her bicycle helmet. Gasps. Mouths dropped. Principal Marrow sprinted outside, sweating. Mr. Hale. Sir, if we had known. Richard held up a hand. He walked to the center of the school garden. Cameras clicked. I am Richard Hale, founder of Hale Tech and father to Ella Hale, the girl you mocked, bullied, and tried to break. Students froze. Brandon choked on his latte. Ella stepped forward. Her voice clear, unshaken. I forgive you all, she said. I don't hate you. I just hope you understand now. Worth isn't worn on your wrist. It's lived. Brandon tried to approach. Ella, I didn't mean. She smiled again. I know you did. Richard handed a folder to the principal. Inside, a scholarship endowment of $20 million in Ella's name. For students who come from humble homes. She rode a bicycle to school, Richard added, because she knew how to move forward on her own. Ella never left Silvercrest. She graduated top of her class and still rode her bicycle, now with a new helmet and a custom Haletech smartwatch. Years later, she became CEO of a new division at Haletech, focused on accessible education for girls worldwide. She built bicycle libraries, tech labs in villages, and free coding schools for orphan teens. When asked in an interview about her wealth, Ella replied, I don't remember the exact day I became a billionaire's daughter, but I remember the day I decided to never be anyone's shadow. When the world laughed at her wheels, she built an empire that rides forward. If you've ever felt judged by appearances, mocked for having less, or told you'll never be enough, let Ella's story remind you. Light bulb greatness doesn't wear gold. It wears grit. Direct hit like this video if it inspired you. Envelope with arrow, subscribe to HA Stories for more emotional tales every week. Compass comment below. From where in the world are you watching this story? Globe showing Europe, Africa. We're building a family, and every story you share matters.